So, last time we were working, I was trying to get Vue set up in my app, and I had issues with it because Vue's like tags that it uses are conflict with Alpine.js because the dashboard that I'm using is using Alpine.js, and so I can't have both at the same time. And so my idea was to use Vue for this app, and so I was thinking I can just convert these components to Vue components and I'll be good. And so that's kind of the plan. But I do actually want to use Inertia.js. I started looking over this on our last session, and it actually seems like the way I want to go because it allows me to create almost like a single page app experience without having to create kind of all the boilerplate that's required for a single page application. Like I don't have to worry about authentication and tokens, and I don't have to create like a separate API just for the client to be able to consume information from the server side. I can just have one app, and um, I'll write controllers like I usually do, and then just return inertia responses, and then inertia kind of handles everything else for you. So it'll allow me to create all my front end using Vue without having to kind of write a bunch of um, code just to make my front end communicate with my back end. And so I think for this live session, my goal is to get Inertia.js set up in my application, which I hope should be pretty straightforward. And with that, I'm going to have to convert these Alpine.js components into Vue components. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my changes from the previous session. So starting out fresh, everything's working here. This of course is being powered by Alpine.js right now. And what I want to do is install Inertia.js. Just fix that spacing. Install Inertia.js. But I'm wondering now, should I get rid of the Alpine.js stuff first before I install Inertia.js? So really right now the only parts that are dynamic are like the header, the desktop, the mobile. And the thing is, my entire app is going to be powered by Vue anyways. So in my Blade template, I'm actually not going to have this stuff. I think it's going to be something like Inertia, and that's where it's going to insert my Inertia stuff, and it'll load my Vue component, and my layout and everything's going to be set up through Vue. So I guess I'm just going to go ahead and install it first, and then we'll maybe work on converting some of those elements into Vue components. Let's see how far we get. So installation server side. So we need to require this package, Riot Composer. That was quick. And then now we're going to need a root template. So it provides like a scaffolding here for us. So by default, Laravel adapter we use app.blade.php view. This template should include your assets as well as the inertia directive. Okay, that's that right there. If you'd like to use a different root view, you can change it using inertia set root view. I think we'll just use the default. So I guess what I'll do, so this is layout.blade.php. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a new view here for app.blade.php. and then I'll insert this inertia scaffolding, and then we can maybe, if we need stuff from here, we'll move it over. So at inertia, that's where our inertia is going to load. CSS, I believe those should be correct. So CSS, app.css, and JS, app.js, that's correct, so that's good. Alright, moving on. It looks like we need to set up middleware to handle these inertia requests. So PHP Artisan inertia middleware, that's easy enough. So that should have created, yeah, middleware handle inertia requests. So let's take a look at that. Okay, yeah, I was reading about this yesterday. This is where we can share data across all of our components or pages. Let's see here. So once generated, register the handle inertia request middleware in your kernel as the last item of your web middleware. So http/kernel. This is our web middleware, and so we're going to put in our handle inertia request middleware right in there. And I'm just going to follow the what all the other ones are doing and put in the full class there. So this middleware provides a version method for setting your asset version and a share method for setting shared data. So I think for the asset stuff, we can probably have it handle, use its own handling for that, and I believe it uses our mix manifest file, which is what's compiled by Webpack in a Laravel application. So that should be good. Get rid of this layout file. So now creating responses, that's it. You're all ready to go from the server side. From here you can start creating inertia responses. See the responses page for more information. So, okay. Now we need to set up the client side. Alright, looks like we need to install some npm packages. And I wonder, right now we don't have Vue installed. So I'm wondering, we'll probably have to create some additional steps to install Vue. So next, update your main JavaScript file to boot your Inertia app. All we're doing here is initializing the client-side framework with the base Inertia component. Alright, I think we'll just copy some of this. And we'll put this in our app.js. So I don't know if we put it on our app.js or bootstrap.js. Let me see the little documentation that I wrote. See how it's being added in there. Okay, so we do add it to app.js. I think that's fine. Okay. Okay, so the resolve callback tells inertia how to load a page component. And so I guess it loads pages by looking in the pages directory. So I'm guessing that'll be js/pages, and I guess I can actually reference. They created a neat little demo called Ping CRM that kind of shows the application, and so we can probably glance at the source code here to get a better idea. Yep, so we can create a new directory for pages. And so for now, the only page we have is really like our home page, or like our dashboard, I'm calling it. And so and actually the other thing is that so it's only our backend that's going to be using inertia.js, so like our admin section. The front end, it's not going to be using inertia. So I'm wondering if we need any additional configuration there. So from the server side, when we have a controller, we're returning okay. So if I'm trying to namespace my my views under admin, I'm actually gonna have to modify the belay template that it uses. Alright, so I think that's part of the client side. Or I know I just saw it. There it is. So inertia set root view. I mean, I'm guessing we'll put that in one of our providers, or let's look at this request here. Oh, here we go. So this will be admin.app. Okay. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and maybe I'll create just a simple page component for my dashboard. I'm guessing it's going to be a view file template. Div hello dashboard. And so I'm trying to get it to load, and then I'll go back and get it updated with all my content. So that's fine, that's fine. Okay, and so our dashboard controller. So instead of returning a view here, we're going to have to return an inertia response. And so I guess it's inertia render, and then the name of the component. So in this case, dashboard. And then we can pass data, which right now, I don't think we have any data. So let's see if that works. So that didn't work. Let's see here. So inertia is being loaded. Oh, I probably have to compile my assets. That's right. Just do npm run watch. Can't resolve ./pages. Oops, I put that in the wrong directory. It's not in the public directory, it has to be in resources. There we go. Let's try that again. Oh yeah, I can't resolve view, so we gotta get view installed. So I know, this little documentation here, I'm wondering what version of Vue it installs. I guess we can try it and see what happens. I don't know what the default is. I guess the default version is 2.6. I wonder if there's any benefits to installing version 3. I've actually never used version 3, so I'm a little hesitant to get that installed since I'm not sure if I'm going to run into any issues. It does look like things are a little different for Vue 2. I'm going to go ahead and go with Vue 2. So that should have been installed. Oh, right. So our Webpack needs to be able to handle Vue stuff, I'm guessing. Is that how it works? Yeah. It has to install additional dependencies for Vue. Sometimes it fails for some reason. Okay, and then we have to change our setup here from using Vue 2 to Vue 3. Okay, let me actually, I'm gonna have to undo some stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and revert my package.json. My package lock.json. Okay. Delete my node modules. And so let's go ahead and install Vue first, and then we'll go through and we'll install inertia. And then we have to update our app to use the Vue 2 version. Let's go ahead and do that. That should be good. So yeah, so I think, pretty sure that inertia.js sets up the Vue stuff. So I'm guessing we don't have to set that up ourselves. That's like some progress stuff. Not gonna worry about that right now. Let's do npm install one more time. And then let's see, npm run watch. See if this will work. Looks like I have to install some additional Vue packages. Alright, so it seems to have compiled correctly. Let's refresh. Okay, I'm still not seeing my content. It's component dashboard. Make sure, yep, we're in that controller. So it's not rendering that dashboard component. Let me see here, let's go back to the server side. Maybe let's look at responses. Okay, so return inertia event slash show. Yeah, so I don't think we have to prefix that pages, because I think it knows that it has to look in the pages directory, but maybe it has to do with the .vue extension. Let's look at how it's set up in this Ping CRM example. So resources, JS, pages. I don't know, let's see, auth. Okay, so they are using Vue file extensions, so that's not the problem. Let's take a look at app.js. That seems fine. I'm wondering what version they're using. What version of Vue they're using in this. So yeah, 2.6, so they're using the same version. Is there anything special I have to do in my pages component? Let's see here, pages. So we have a template. I guess let's just put in some JavaScript. Props, let's say we're taking a message. And then let's just do on created, let's console.log, load it to see if it actually loads. And so in our props here, we can pass a message, hello there. And we're in PHP, so we need proper array syntax. All right, let's refresh. So nothing. Oh, here we go. Hello dashboard. So I wonder, maybe it wasn't compiled before. All right, that's finally working. And we see here our message is being loaded. So was it a matter of putting the script tags in here? No, that seems to be fine. It's not the props either, so maybe it just didn't compile. So yeah, it looks like it's working. Sweet. So now we can delete that. Hello dashboard. So now what we want to do is we want to take everything from our layout, like our dashboard that we already had it set up, and we want to have it load with inertia. And so this is our layout pretty much, essentially. Um, I guess we could have separate components for like the sidebar desktop, sidebar mobile, and then a separate component for the header. And then this is where we're going to be including our actual main content. So, let's take a look at documentation for layouts. And I know they have it here somewhere because I was looking at it yesterday. Is it in the client side? Let's search it up here, creating layouts. So yeah, I was reading yesterday. There's two different ways to create layouts. One is a simple, I guess it's simpler because you can have almost like a layout component, and that provides a slot, and then you can just insert your content within the layout, like you see here. This is the layout, and then they provide a slot. So that works, but I guess using layouts in this kind of a way requires the layout to be destroyed and recreated between visits. And so I guess it doesn't persist state between page loads. And so there's another way to create layouts. Yeah, I think what we want, so I guess in your page component you can define this like layout property, and you can render the layout. But what we want to do is like I think we're only going to have one layout for all of our pages, and so what we can do is we can set the default layout for our inertia app, and then that'll work for every single page. So let's get that set up. So within, again, I'm going to reference Ping CRM just because it's a little easier. Let's see here. I'm wondering how they're doing the not shared pages. I wonder how they're doing layouts. Okay, so it passes in the layout. Okay, because yes, yeah. So each page can define a layout, or we can define it globally. I think I'm just going to define it globally. Wondering what the downsides are to doing that, or if there are any. Yeah, it looks like they're providing the layout for each. I guess I'm going to follow their conventions here. Create a shared folder, and then in there we're going to have layout view. This is just a simple view. So for now, what I'm going to do, actually, you know what, we can just copy this, or at least most of it. I'm going to get rid of these blade includes. Just put a little message there, get rid of this Alpine.js stuff. Insert in our app, we have so resolve name require okay, so we're gonna have to do some additional steps here in the resolver. So our comments page is going to be that, and we can say page dot layout will equal to layout, which we're going to. Okay, so we could either default it like so. If the layout itself defines the layout, we want to use that. Otherwise, we use our global or our default layout, and then we just return the page. So we're going to do import layout from /shared layout. Oops. Okay. And then let's see if that works. Do we have to redo this? Nope. Does not seem to be working. So let's try it this way. So layout, import layout from /. That's not shared layout. So layout is going to be equal to layout. Did that change anything? So failed to mount component template or render function not defined layout. Oh, of course. So this has to be a view component. So we need a template here. And then how do we tell the template where to place the content? Is it a slot? Yeah, it's a slot. There we go. Cool. So yeah, the hello there. This is coming from our layout. And of course, all the content from our component here is now being inserted inside our template. So that's good. So that's working. So let me go ahead and see if I can delete this layout from the page itself, because I want it to use the layout in our default layout here that's defined in the app. So that does not seem to be working. There we go. So with this .default thing, I've seen this before. So when you're including view files like this, for some reason it requires the .default part. I'm not sure why. I haven't looked into it. Maybe one day I'll find out. If I do, I'll let you know. Or if somebody else finds out, you can let me know. Cool, so now that we have that set up, we can now go ahead and insert the other parts of our layout. So we have this optional class, or not optional class, conditional class. This is going to have to be part of our layout is going to be probably, actually, you know what? We can move it. We can just put a data property on our layout and then, let me not cut it, let me copy it. And then in our script, we'll just do is side menu open. Of course, actually, we have to return an object for our data. Is side menu open true? Or no, false. The side menu is going to be closed by default. I'm pretty sure that's for the mobile menu. Sidebar desktop. So our sidebar desktop and our sidebar mobile, they share the same content. As you'll see here, sidebar content, but the actual classes vary. So I'm going to copy this, shared. I was wondering for a second if shared's a good name, because I was like, you know, we're really only using sidebar in the layout. It's not really shared among other components, but I'm just going to put it in here for now, and then we'll figure out structure and organization at a later time. So div, actually not div, we can just paste what we have here. And then for now, sidebar content. So this has some some blade syntax. I think for now what I'll do is I'll copy this. I'm gonna hard code it for now, and then I'll figure out a way to extract it. So our admin route, that's gonna be slash. I'm gonna hard code these for now, and then I'll update them at a later time. Collections, this is not a link at the moment. So our sidebar desktop looks good. So what we need to do is include the sidebar desktop in our layout. Import sidebar desktop from /sidebar desktop. And you know what I liked actually? I saw in the PingCRM they had this convention where they can use @ to go to the root of JS. So I actually kind of like that, because then I don't have to figure out like how many directories I have to go up or down to get to where we need to be. So like it's used there, and then it's used or here, it's fine. So that's gonna fail. Yep. And so I believe that's configured in the app.js. Or somewhere. I know I saw it. Let's see here. Resolve name, require page /name. Is it in Webpack? Yeah. We add an alias to Webpack, in Webpack. That makes sense. It's pretty easy. I thought it was going to be a little more complicated than that for some reason. Doesn't matter where it goes. Let's put it there, see if that works. Restart that. So that failed. Can't resolve @ /side. Oh yeah, right. Because it's shared /sidebar desktop. There we go. Refresh. Oh yeah, we're not even using it yet. And I believe, do we have to register components? I don't work with Vue too often, so sometimes I forget what's required or not. Let me just try rendering it. And so the sidebar desktop is being loaded right after the opening tag. Yep, so right here. Okay, that's cool. It automatically registered it for me. Very nice. I'm gonna close that because I don't need that. Ooh, there we go. There's our sidebar. Sweet. And then, yeah, I just wanted to take a look to see how they did it in this app. Okay, yeah, you have to register them. No problem. I'm okay with that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to also create a component for Sidebar Mobile. Copy our view. Yeah, you see here it has a lot of other Alpine stuff, which we're going to have to convert here in a second. But we'll just go ahead and copy it over for now. And then the content, we can do the same thing we did for the desktop. Actually, I guess what we can do is, let's see here, sidebar content. Let's create a new component. Sidebar content.view. Create a template tag, paste that in there, and then now we can do sidebar content. I kind of like how it automatically does this for me. Except we'll do @/shared sidebar content. And I guess the cool kids on the block don't use semicolons for JavaScript anymore. I just got into a habit of doing it, but I guess I don't need to. So sidebar content, and then we'll do the same thing for sidebar mobile. Sidebar content. Sweet. That should work. Let's see here. Oh yeah. In order to test the mobile sidebar, we're gonna have to bring in the header as well. So let's look at the header. Okay, it doesn't have any blade stuff, so that's good. So I'm gonna just try copying it over and creating a new header component. And then including that in our layout. Oh yeah, I forgot. So we have to also bring in our mobile. Is that what it's called? Yeah, sidebar mobile. Register that. I guess we'll remove our semicolons. And then include sidebar mobile here as well. Template or render function not defined. I'm guessing it's coming from our sidebar mobile since that's what we just brought in. Yeah, again, I forgot to use a template tag. Alright, so I think these X transition things are not going to play nice with view. So we'll go ahead and remove them. Remove that, remove that. We'll figure out how we're going to we'll figure out how we can do that, how we can set up that behavior in view here in a second. For now, I just kind of want to make sure things are loaded. So no more errors, that's good. And then our header component. So we pasted that in. Again, we're going to have to remove this transition stuff. Remove these events, remove these if statements. Remove those if statements. I click toggle side menu, toggle theme, remove these. Okay. I think that should be good. So let's go ahead and include our header in our layout. We'll register it, and then the header is being included. If we look at our layout, it's being included right after this flex wrapper there. All right, refresh. Do we have it? Nope. We have some compilation errors. Okay, so I think in our header we probably have more than one root element. So we have our header. No, we only got one. Oh, it's our sidebar. Div. Just wrap it in div. See, hopefully that works. Is that compiled? Is our header being displayed? Doesn't look like it. Let's see here. So layout, we are including the header there. Oh, I wonder if it's because does Vue think this is like a regular header tag? Yeah, I think so. So we'll do, I don't know, maybe we'll call it page header or layout header. Main header. Let's call it main header. And then we'll just rename this. Oh, right. We have to update our little components object. Okay, sweet. Cool. So now our header is being included. Let's see. Yeah, this is the little button for our mobile menu. So yeah, so we're gonna have to configure all these different components to work with the Vue. And so right now this looks like a mess. I think the first thing I'll do is I'll get rid of this layout thing. Our dashboard, I did actually have an H1 tag that I was using, so I'm gonna go ahead and just move that over, just so I know that I'm in a dashboard and that looks good. Cool. So that's good. Go ahead and close everything out. So I think, let's see here. I wonder where I should start. So like, if we take a look here, I mean, maybe we can start with the side menu. That one's easy. So what that's gonna look like is so in our header, I believe it's this button when it's clicked. So when it's clicked, we'll toggle the side menu. And so because the because the header is being included in the layout as a like a subcomponent. Um, the thing is, it's the layout that has the data for it, but our header has to communicate the value of that or it has to communicate the event up to the layout. So I think what we can do is like maybe we'll just when at click it'll just propagate the event up to the layout, and then the layout is going to handle the actual toggling of the variable. And so here we'll be catching an event like I don't know, at toggle side menu. So is side menu open is going to be equal to the opposite of what it currently is. And so here we have to emit an event. I gotta actually look that up. So yeah, I think we just do emit toggle, what do we name it? Toggle side menu. Alright, let's see if that'll work. So this has to be on the mobile version. I think what I'll do is I'll put a little console.log. Okay, so instead of changing the variable, actually no, we don't have to do that. We can do, we can look here, toggle side menu. Okay, so it is emitted. And then let's look at the variable data. So is side menu open true? Is side menu open false? Okay. And then I have to find the other places where this is being used. So it looks like on our no, that's our layout. Let's see here. Sidebar mobile, yeah, this is what I was looking for. So when on our sidebar mobile, when is side menu open is true, it'll show. Oh, okay, that's a backdrop. I was wondering what this is. So we have the backdrop for it, and then we have the main thing. So what we need to do is we need to pass in is sidebar menu open over to our sidebar mobile. And this is going to have to be a not computed, but a value, and then we'll just pass in, let's see here, side menu open. In our sidebar mobile, we can add those conditional classes again. So, well, actually, no, they're not conditional classes. I think what we were using is actually the show property. So we can probably do view show, I'm guessing. So view show is side menu open, and we're gonna have to accept a prop for that. Same thing here, view show, side menu open. Okay. So there we go. It doesn't have those same transition effects that we had before. So that's something we'll have to update. And I haven't really used transitions with Vue, so I'm gonna have to look that up. So it looks like, let's see here. It looks like it's just opacity 0 to 100. and 100 is 0. And here it looks like it maybe it slides in. So let's see if we can get the transition working for the backdrop, just the fade in. So it looks like we wrap we wrap our component that is shown conditionally with the transition, and then we have a name for it, and then we add the CSS for it based on the name that we gave it. Just go ahead and try that. Just gonna copy what they have here for now, and then maybe oh, that worked. Okay, but I do want to use the values that we had for this. It looks like it's using 150. What does that mean? Is that 150 milliseconds? So instead of 0.5, we'll do, is that what you would do? Yep. Looks like it works. And so the other one, let's see here. Let's just first set it up with fade. Yeah, it looks kind of weird. I actually kind of want to see what it looks like. So I know I have a link. Here we go. This is a dashboard. I'm going to look it up on their demo. Live preview. Alright, let's go mobile. Refresh. Okay, yeah, so it slides in from the left. Alright, let's see if we can implement that. So it looks like maybe it slides in and it fades. Let's see. Yeah, so it both fades in and it translates. So what happens when you want to use multiple, can you use multiple, not events, multiple transitions with Vue, or do we create like a new name for it and add the styles to it? Slide fade. Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're looking for. So we're gonna have to name it something different. So I'm gonna actually like that name, slide fade. Slide fade, and so for that we're gonna do so there's enter, enter start, enter end, leave, leave start, leave end. So we enter, v enter 2, v leave 2. What do we have here? We have fade, enter, active, leave, active, enter, leave 2. Okay, so when we start, it's going to be opacity 0, and then it's going to have translate x 20, whatever that means. So are these actual, are these, yeah, these are tailwind declarations. So minus translate x 20, so that's going to be negative 5 rems. So when we start, we're going to translate x negative 5 rems. And when we end, it's going to be like that. And this, of course, is not fade, this is slide fade. And then when we end, to enter active, leave active. No, so these are our initial ones, our initial values. So this is going to be transition, it's these right here. It's going to be our initial, right? Yeah. So that's kind of sets the properties. So to figure out, okay, this is what I'm looking for. So we enter. So this is start, this is end, start for leave, end for leave. So when at the beginning of the transition and at the end of it, we want it to be hidden. So that means Like this right there. So opacity is going to be 0, and then this is where we add our translate. Cool, so that seems like it works. They look about the same. So it looks like there's a delay. It's like the menu flies in after. I don't know, maybe not. I think it's good enough. I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. And then I'll be back trying to get all these other components working in Vue. So I'll see you guys later.